here we've got the ingredients laid out. Nice big onion, some garlic, salt, balsamic vinegar, olive oil and red wine vinegar. I'm missing fresh grated horseradish and I have to go up the road to dig some out of the verge. Two kilograms or thereabouts of tomatoes, as we're making double what the recipe said, and beetroots just picked from the garden. I've got to snap the tops off those. You don't cut them off because that makes the beetroot bleed. You just snap them off where the leaf joins the root, and then they're going to get washed in some warm water to get rid of all the mud, because they've got to be roasted with their little skins on. Here's the 1 kilogram of tomatoes sprinkled with some salt. I've used sea salt, and 5 garlic cloves sliced, and they go on the bottom shelf in the oven. And here's 1 kilogram of beetroot with a little bit of olive oil on it, and again sprinkled with the sea salt, and they go in an oven 180 degrees, gas mark 5, and I'm not sure what that is if you use anything else than that. I haven't got a conversion chart handy, but I'm sure you can look it up on good old Google. Anyway, yum yum, this is going to be really tasty. Well, I'm now exhausted, having taken a mattock, which is like a sort of axe sideways, been up to the verge, which is about a quarter of a mile walk there and back, and picked this stuff, well, dug it out of a crater in the ground. And this is a horseradish root. Now, not very interesting, does it? And it's a bit knobby. I'm going to have a heck of a job peeling that, but there it is. I can't remember how much we need for the recipe, probably only about 2 teaspoonsful, but there's a recipe for pickled horseradish root, so I think we might do that as well. I'm absolutely out of breath, really exhausted, and I'm going to make a cup of tea. But the tomatoes and beetroot smell yummy in the oven. Well, that was a job and a half. I'm even more exhausted now. Funny noise in the background is the dishwasher going. I've got the jam jars in there, having a nice hot wash. Anyway, this is the culprit, the grated horseradish. I have no knuckles left, they've all gone on the grater. It was very hard work, but I've got enough to stuff a jam jar and do the pickle recipe, which is easy peasy, and plenty to make the sauce with. I think this sauce is going to be hot, folks. This is the pan I'm going to use. It's a German make, given very kindly to by my friend Kevin when he split up with his partner and downsized, moved in with another female. We're all just as bad as each other, aren't we? It's got a nice thick bottom. You can see it there from the base to that line, and hey-ho, there I am filming. Got handles on, and I can't tell you what size it is because it hasn't got it on there, but it's pretty big. Well, the beetroot are now out of the oven, cooked nicely, and I've put chopped onion, which is a very large one that you saw at the beginning, 250 grams of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of organic balsamic vinegar, and 150 mils of red wine vinegar, and that's got to go in the pan and be brought to the boil and left to simmer for 5 minutes. Well, here we go. I'm listening to Brian Ferry, Roxy music, These Foolish Things, halfway through making this beetroot relish. There's the tomatoes. They've cooked, and I've now got to squash them through a plastic sieve, which I've just discovered has got a great big hole in it, so I'm going to have to use a plastic colander, and we'll have to have 1 or 2 pips and bits of skin, but hey ho, never mind, I'm sure it will taste good. And Here are the onions, I'm going to steam up now, cooked with the vinegar and other bits. And you notice I'm using a wooden spoon. You have to use wooden spoons, not metal or plastic which has got metal on the handle, because it makes the vinegar go funny. To slice up the beetroot I'm using this mandolin, I think it's called. Alright, made by Borna. It wasn't very expensive, under 20 quid, and it's brilliant for slicing up a lot of vegetables. Here's the beetroots ready, and there's the mandolin over a bowl which will catch all those sliced beetroots. I've got it on the fine setting, but I'm sort of wondering, I think I might do it on the chunky setting, because this is a relish and it's quite nice to have a chunky relish, so I'm going to change that. There we are, changed it for the thicker one. So if I think they're too thick, I can always get in there with a knife and chop them a bit smaller into squares. Okay, neighbour Barry's just been round, and they've been on their veg plot which is next to mine, and they've just brought me round a little box of very knobbly Charlotte potatoes. I'm going to boil those in their skins and have them with my tea. And now we're on to the tomatoes. They're in the colander because my nylon sieve got a hole in it, and they're being squished through just so that I get the worst of the hard knobby stalk bits and the skins out of that. And here okay, last stage, we need some of these little wax discs. They've got a plain side, which is that, and a waxy side, which you can see has got a sheen on. And it's got to go waxy side down, and the wax melts when you put it on the hot content and gives you a seal on the top. And then we need these little bunnies, which are sort of cellophane-y type lids and rubber bands. The cellophane lids have to be wet when you put them on to the hot liquid. And then you need some nice brand spanking clean jars, and they should be slightly warm. These just about make it because I've hung around trying to get the video camera working. And the gloop is bubbling away in the pan, and it's had its 10 minutes, but I can't pour and hold the camera. I need an assistant. Any volunteers? And here is the finished product. And looky, it's messy. That's why I'm on a tray. This looks pretty yummy. It's made 4 jars and a little taster pot. And I can't wait until we can try this at Christmas. Going to go lovely with the cold roast beef, I think. Anyway, happy cooking. Any questions, you can always PM me on Ning on Gary's site. Speak to you soon.